セレモニアルストーン。あれこれなんかあったよね。博物館に。ルーパ。アギはいないの？ハンターたち。イブに弓の早打ち。モヒカンだ。
I was always fearless. My mother Aggie told me there was nothing I couldn't do.
あ、アギの息
Oddsjul and
子。
without, I hunted the deer in the woods and the hares on the mountain, all before I had taken my first lover.
アギの息子なん
Younger
だ。
still, one time Aggie had me knock her tooth out when she was in terrible pain. I didn't mind even when the blood poured out. It was easy for me. Spears and knives were my nature. Death and courage were my meat and drink. I knew about Aggie's mirror, of course, but did not believe all of it. When Aggie warned us the mauler was sick and there would be fewer calves for the following years, none of us listened. It was to be my first cull. I wanted their blood. It was my nature. We would not take less of the mauler just because an old woman told us to. She came to the beach after the Morlow slaughter, her hair wild, eyes burning with fury, raged and shouted like a woman out of her mind. We had killed too many, she said. Then she left the village, told us she was done with all of us, forever. As Oddsjul marked me with oil and blood, I did not mourn my mother leaving. I was young and foolish, and the sight of her ashamed me. But of course, I did not see what was to come.
これなんだっけ？これなんか入れ物。これを探すんだ。
To think that they were still having the same arguments about the Morlow way back in the Bronze Age.
みたい
Aggie
ね。
must have sensed the trouble ahead. Maybe she was trying to find a way to prevent it.
ということはもうこの辺にアギはいないのかな？出てっちゃった後なのかな？ルーパ。これアギなのかな？あ、違う。サフィーだ。帰ろう。あの器を探そう。こういうとこに何か玉ねぎこれをかぼちゃ？ヘチマ？かぼちゃ。骨董品の中にちょうど入ってないかな。入ってないね。ボトルシップ？これなんだろうな。はいはい。 灯台絡みね。ないでしょう。うん。これか。いや、ないね。でもこれあれだよね。さっきサフィが祝福していた石だよね。藤壺の中に瓶。こっちにもなんか入ってたけど、あれか。船の電報か。これは船の船首ですね。ないか。あ、これじゃない？うるさい。油のランプ。違うのか。こっちか。うるさい。
What a beautiful object. Delighted to have it in our museum.
置いてる置いてる。さあ次だ。これさっきのあれだね、息子さんだね。アギの息子。ウーナップの小屋。うん。決意。お、魚人だ。なんだっけ、クルクだっけ。
She was alone, and I would bring her food sometimes, samphire and sea urchins. She would make dry food, and we would eat it together. Textures unlike any we knew that broke apart in your hands and in your mouth. We would sing together, make tea together. We became her family. The dry folk left her alone. She had a companion for a few seasons, a hind who came down from the mountain and slept at her fire. And then, for a few more, a golden hair that ate from her hand. One night we all felt it. Those of us in the water and those above. The island waking, rumbling, alive again, more furious than before. I found Aggie awake, tending her fire, unsleeping, unresting, staring into her mirror. She told me she'd seen the island sinking into orange fire and boiling sea, lost forever above and below. The village and our town in the sea caves, all gone. Aggie went to the shore and blew the sinistral shell, calling our people up from the water. Aggie sang for them the oldest song, and we spoke for some time. That night, the sea and sky was all the same color, a deep gray blue like a mackerel's back without the glitter. As the dawn approached, Aggie left the beach to return to her people, to tell them what must be done.
うん。また大きな火山が。
I'm not sure I want to see what happens next.
We have to.
火山じゃない、
Morris.
噴火か。噴火が起きたんだね。うん。で、ホラー街。ホラー街。ホラー街なんかどっかで見たような。どこで見たっけ？ここだ。
Such a small thing. But it changed the entire course of our island.
そうかな、結構大きいと思うけど。ねえ。クリケットのクリケットのラケットよりでかい。さあ最後のポワポワどうなったのか。これ魚人の頭蓋骨かな。ああ、そうかな。人間じゃないね。クルクじゃない？クルクだ。おう。オズトゥルの語り。週に一度村の人々は一堂に会して昼食をとる。ガヤガヤとした空気が落ち着くのを待つ間、オトゥズルは自身の長い長い物語を一つ語る。様々な物語を次の世代へと伝える役割。まあ、いわゆる語り部的な。あれこれ、左にいんの？違うか。アギじゃないかな。
We heard the shell and knew Aggie had returned. Ibni was the leader then. It had taken many seasons, more than we would have liked, but there were finally enough Morlo again and our village was growing. We were strong. Some of the younger ones didn't know Aggie and didn't want to hear her, called her a moon-shot crone, but Ibni looked in her mother's face and saw the truth of it. The end would come. The earth was growling again. There would be hot rivers of death and clouds of poison. But Aggie brought us the answer. She would give herself to the island. Ibni's voice shook. Surely a deer or a goat would be enough. The year's finest, blackest calf. Aggie cast down her eyes and shook her head. We all knew. I offered my blade, but Aggie turned me away. She took her knife that had cut her own cord the night the volcano last erupted and wrapped Ibni's fingers tight around the bone hilt. It must be you, Ibni, she said, and it must be now before the sun comes up. This day, this morning, or we are all gone. The village, the people, the island.
息子に。
Aggie embraced her daughter. Ibni whispered something that I could not catch the words. Both women's faces shone with tears.
娘でした。
Aggie sat on the ceremonial stone, the tears streaming now from all of us. Aggie delivered her final message. She told us her body must not be burned or given to the sea, but lain in the earth of the island beneath the mountain. Ibni was shaking, and then I realized it was not just Ibni. The whole island was trembling under our feet, waking up. Aggie told Ibni to be quick, the end was coming. As Aggie took Ibni's hand and guided the knife to her side, we saw the fish folk rising from the sea, hundreds of them, so many. I had no idea there were so many. Aggie was quiet the whole time, but Ibni cried out. A sound of longing and hurting from her heart like I had never heard. Then she fell silent, and as Aggie's life poured from her body, the island and everything on it fell suddenly still. Utterly still. We wept then, in sorrow and relief. Then the fish folk were among us, countless, numberless. One embraced Ibni, holding her up as it seemed her own legs might give way. When the sun came up that day, land and sea folk stood together for the first time, talking and singing the old songs, Aggie's songs, together. Ibni and the fish folk took Aggie up onto the mountain. They laid her in the peat alongside the knife and all the things she would need on her journey. Ibni watched over Aggie for days afterwards. Before she was covered, she placed a sacred carved stone, Aggie's beloved hair, inside her mother's mouth, to guide her and help her keep the mountain still forever. And so it was.
うさぎを彫った神聖なる石を母の口の中へ入れた。
Oh, Aggie. Now that's bravery.
あれ、アギだったんだ。私だけこれピンときてなかったの。あ、でもそっか。この時見つかった人間の女性は保存状態が良く、シェルマーストーンの沼の婦人と名付けられた。確かになんか、前にスパーキーがアギを見つけたみたいな。モリスはアギを見つけたよねみたいなこと言ってたな。あ、でもこのアギと特定はされてないね。うん。でもこれがアギなんだ。で、口の中にウサギの彫刻あった？皮がめくれて、骨が出て、あった。ウサギの彫刻、この時代のものと思われる遺体には、こうした異物が口の中に入った状態で見つかったものが多い。口に含ませたものは死んだ後らしい。あの世で死者を守ってくれるという信仰からこうした習わしができたのであろう。これがアギだったんだ。
Hey, Sparky, it feels a bit disrespectful looking inside Aggie's body like that.
You were the one who dug her up and put her on a plinth, Morris.
Yeah, but I...
Relax, Morris. This body isn't Aggie anymore. She's long past needing this old thing.
Well, all right then.
そっか。アギって気づいてなかったの私だけか。さあ、スパーキー頼みます。
I'll level with you. We absolutely didn't need to find Aggie's mementos in order for me to sniff her out. She's here, waiting for you. She has been this whole time.
But then, why did we need to visit the Bronze Age?
Aggie thought it was important for you to see those memories, so you would understand her path before you met her. But also, wasn't it cool?
That it was. The things I've seen now. Oh, Sparky, thank you so much. To think, for a while there, I was worried that being dead was gonna be boring.
You are very welcome, Morris. Okay, so, shall we go say hello to Aggie?
Yes!
よいしょいかついな結構。
Morris, Sparky.
あれもう
It's so good to see you both.
Hey, Aggie.
Wait, you know me?
Of course I do. Morris Lupton, one of the best-loved men in the history of Shelmerston, with the very finest dog.
Me? Oh, I don't know.
Come now, let's go out of this place, into the air.
あれだね、かけらを集めずとも復活していたアギ。
The one part of Shelmerston that looks just the same as the first day I saw it. I suppose it always will.
I love this beach. It's always been my favorite beach. I'm gonna go run.
Aggie, look at Sparky. She's shining.
That's the hope and the joy shining out of her.
That's it, isn't it? The point of all of this.
It is hope, home. This island, it chose the two of you just as it chose me.
And where will you be heading now? Heaven or something?
Heaven, what's that?
Well, I don't quite know how to explain it. But to me, it would be an awful lot like this beach.
I don't know where I'm going, but I'm hoping to see Ibni, my daughter. It's been a very long time, but I remember her. We never forget the ones we love, do we, Morris?
No, I don't suppose we do.
I think she wants something, Morris.
Huh. Would you look at that? I just found a tennis ball in my pocket. Here you are, girl.
はい、というわけで I am dead これにて完結となります。そうですね、ストーリーの最後結末としてはモリスとスパーキーがガーディアンになったってことでいいのかな。なんかしっかりと明言はされてませんでしたね。ただアギー曰く2人が選ばれたっていう言い方はしていたけれども、ガーディアンとして選ばれたかどうかは定かではないですね。でかつアギは娘に会いに行きたいって言ってたから、もうガーディアンとしてのそのねミッションは終えて旅立とうとしているということなので、まあそういうことなのかなって感じがします。はい。まあそうね。まあこの透視能力を使って、死後の世界の謎を解くなんていうテーマだったので、てっきり死んでしまった人の死因を探るとかね、そういった、サスペンス、ミステリー、そういった感じのゲームのこのストーリーになっていくのかなと思いきや、全くそんなことはなく、その亡くなってしまった人の人となり、人生を追っていくようなね、ゆったりと、そしてほんわかとした、タイトルで、まあちょっと想像と違ったけど、いい意味でね、心があったかくなったというか、面白かったです。はい。そんな感じで I am dead、 これで終わりにしましょうかね。はい。まあそのグレンキンも全部集めたし、やり残したことはないと思います。はい。私他にもゲーム動画アップロードしておりますので、よろしければそちらもご覧になってください。最後までご視聴いただきましてありがとうございました。